Hello and welcome to Euphoria. In this video series we're modifying the Sanctum Sanctorum building from the LEGO set from 2022 to improve its suitability for my LEGO city. In this video we're going to carry straight on from the previous episode in which we split the first floor into two and created a modified first floor. However, this isn't the episode I was expecting to make about creating a new second floor, because there are a couple of things I want to revisit in the changes that we've made so far. I'm not going to go back over all the changes to this building so far. So if you're just joining the series here, I would recommend going back to the previous episode to find out what this build is all about. But the main change we're in the middle of making to this building is to split this one tall floor into a separate first floor and second floor, each with one row of windows. The two floors can then be treated as individual and separable floors in the style of most modular buildings. In the last episode we made some fairly major structural changes to the first floor. We adjusted the floor plate, split the floor into two, changed up the windows to make them bigger, worked out what height to make the walls so they could work with new columns, added a new internal staircase to the second floor, then completed rebuilding the walls and added back some detail to the interior. When we were changing the first floor, we made changes to the windows, walls and columns, and I decided to remove the round window on that floor, which is a noticeable feature of the original building. I don't have anything against that window, in fact I quite like it, but I wasn't sure what to do with it. It's a clever bit of design, and it looked okay with the shorter windows, but I felt it looks a bit out of scale with the larger ones. But the main problem was that I couldn't get it to fit in the right position. It's a bit hard to explain, but it's to do with the positioning of the snot bricks that we need to hold the columns in position on the walls either side. I was hoping we could still use that window in the next floor of the building, the second floor, which is a new floor for the building. But now here I am still thinking my way through how to build the second floor, and it's not going to fit here. I'll try to explain a bit more about this in the episode about making the second floor. However, exploring the options for the configuration of the columns for this floor has given me an idea of how we might be able to resolve those issues. So let's see if we can fit the round window back into the first floor. I want to see if we can fit the small round window back into the first floor. In the original build, the window looked pretty much centred in what looks like that level of the building. So what I'm trying to achieve is for the window to be positioned so that it appears centred in this space with the centre line the same as the two windows. That constrains where we put the bricks with a stud on the side, which also need to fit with the construction of the pillars or columns on the outside of the building. That doesn't work with the columns, but if I change the configuration of the columns slightly, I can position the snot bricks so that the round window can be in the right place. So I have to dismantle this part and rebuild the walls so that it does fit just in the right place. I'm adding a bit of decorative detailing above and below the window so that it's not just in the middle of a blank bit of wall. We also need to add back the mount at the back for the dish that forms the window. So this is what the new round window section looks like. Now we have to modify all the other wall segments that mount the columns so that the modified columns will work the same way. And when all the columns have been tweaked, they can be fitted back onto the walls. So here's the new first floor with the round window back in place. That seems to be a noticeable improvement that adds back this nice feature of the building. Although it does make the building more like the original Sanctum again, I think it's an architectural feature that could be in a city mansion house of this type. And in some ways it's nice to continue the grey of the front porch up into the first floor of the building. I wonder if it might be worth continuing that theme for the second story as well. I'm just going to look at the corner window again. I've received some comments that the corner window looks different from the others without the railings that form the Juliet balcony. There were good reasons for that, due to the way the angled corner is constructed and the way that the small corner window actually sticks out from the building slightly. But things may have changed sufficiently since that decision was made to make it worthwhile looking again at the design of this corner window. This corner has a slightly complicated geometry because of the way the window is mounted at a 45-degree angle. But I played around a bit and managed to find a way to include a bracket to attach the railings. I also found a way to move the window inwards by half a stud, which means that the railings don't stick out over the string course below the window. Here's what it looks like fitted into the first floor. So thanks for that suggestion, as it makes those corner windows more consistent with the other windows. Thinking ahead, it's also worth making sure that this will work with the new second floor that I'm currently working on. Lastly, I just wanted to have a quick look at the windows on the ground floor. I modified the ground floor part of the set in a previous video, but didn't make any changes to the front or side. These ground floor windows use a clever technique using jumper plates so that they're set half a stud further out from the main wall and more in line with these rows of tiles on the outside representing bands of masonry. I'm not sure about the bit of dark grey wall that's visible above the windows, but looking at the construction I can see why it's there. This original design still has those railings mounted on a single stud that seem to go wonky all the time. So I wondered if there was a way to modify the railings so that they're mounted on brackets the same as the ones for the first floor. There are lots of ways to do this, some of which I like more than others. But I'm going to try this idea, which I discovered almost by accident, which attaches the railings using an up bracket and a down bracket and gets the alignment of the railings and the height of the window just right. I'm really pleased with the way that looks. The railings are aligned perfectly and the dark grey patch inset above the window is gone. Let me know what you think about this improvement. So, I thought we were done with these changes, but then I put the first floor back on top of the ground floor and noticed this. This window doesn't align with this window. Now, we haven't changed the position of the window in the first floor, and we haven't changed this bit of wall either. If we put the roof in position temporarily, we can see that the windows in the first floor and the dormer windows in the roof do line up. But looking back at the original set, the ground floor and first floor windows on this side were never aligned in the first place. So what I'm thinking to do is to move this window over so that all these windows align vertically. To do that, we need to break out this bit of wall and move this window over by 2 studs so that it's here. That's a fairly easy change, and we just need a few 1x2 tiles for the courses of masonry on one side and a few 1x3 tiles for the other side. And actually this spacing is much better now because we have 3 studs on this side of the window and 2 studs and the corner on this side, so the window looks much more centred in this wall. Now when we put the first floor back on, we can see that the windows align and this column looks stronger because it isn't over a window below it. So now the ground floor window looks much happier and we will have a perfectly aligned set of windows all the way up the building. So that's all the fixes I want to make at the moment. In this episode we've seen the return of the round window in the first floor. We added the railings to the corner window so it's consistent with the others, and we even had a look to see if we could improve the windows in the ground floor. So now I think we really ought to be getting on with creating the new second floor. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the modification of this building as we work out the changes stage by stage. So in the next video in this series we will, hopefully, be back on track looking at creating a proper and separate second floor for the building, including a structure that fits in with the rest of this building and extends it in a hopefully pleasing and coherent way. So look out for that video coming up. Please press the like button if you liked this video, hit the bell to be informed of any updates, look out for videos in the rest of this series, and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos about this project, other mocks and further developments in my LEGO city.